I think I made friends with a Norwegian recently, and they sent me your profile and said this guy's really cool. He does rowing. He's been to the Olympics. But he's also a diver, and so I've been following you. So it's really cool to get to have a chat to you and find out a bit more about it all. Really.
Well, thank you for reaching out. It's just it's always fun to talk to new people. So yeah.
Fantastic. So I've got a few questions about rowing, about what it's like rowing in Norway, because I saw a post where we said it was like minus something stupid, like 16, and you went out without gloves.
Yeah.
And without pogies as well, I imagine. So I've got loads of questions about rowing, and then also about your environmental work and your diving.
Yeah, of course, but just go ahead and I'll try to answer it all.
Oh, fantastic. So I'll start off. I always start off with the same question, and it's about Henley Royal Regatta. Is that a race you've done before? I couldn't find any record of you doing it. So have you done it or visited it before?
I was there in 2013. I've only been there once, and it was I was in the one of the quad classes.
Okay.
We raced, like, we met Leander in the final and they beat us.
Oh, amazing. So it was Prince of Wales, I imagine that was.
One. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. Getting all the way to the final as well. So
we made it through the final. It was really fun. We were young inexperienced crew, and we just borrowed a Wintec boat.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So when we had the boat was like the club racer one, where you can touch the hull and it moves. So it's just it was really soft. So it was nothing like the one we were used to row, but it kind of worked out, and we had a lot of fun racing. So yeah, I would love to do it again.
Oh, that's brilliant. I'm sure Henley would be more than happy to have you. They love an international crew coming over.
Yeah, of course. It's it was such a nice experience, and the atmosphere and everything is just it's not like what we're used to here in Norway, you could say.
Do you have a big sort of, so in the UK, I'm sure you know, but all of us club rowers and uni rowers all train up to race at Henley, and that's like the peak of the season. Do you have something similar in Norway?
Well, we don't have like we have the nationals. They're probably the biggest thing we have here, but lots of the crews goes like they go to either they will go to Holland Baker this year.
Oh, okay.
Just going somewhere and racing, and some will also come to Henley, I guess.
Oh, fantastic.
So if we on the level like below the World Cup and the World Championships and stuff. So yeah, so it's always nice to have some sort of goals with where we compete at different regattas. But in Norway, it's not that big. But we have a race now in the spring. It's called Drammen River Cup. It's a competition they're trying to make to grow, actually. So they're racing on the river in one of the bigger cities of Norway, and there is like we have like in the morning we have a 2K race time trial, and in the afternoon we have like like duels in the single, or mostly in the singles with when it's a short distance, and we just it's like a small type of cup. Where
amazing.
would be the king or queen of the river. So it's that's a fun one. And we have had Oli Seidler visiting.
Oh, okay.
Sinek was here. So yeah,
that sounds brilliant.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, so well, you mentioned that you did Henley back in 2013. So you must have been in rowing years. So when did you start, and how did you get into it?
I think I started in 2008, and yeah, I've been doing some strokes. I was into the national team from 2014.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
So how did you start? Is there rowing in schools, or did you go to union? It must have been a young rower starting off. You must have been early teens.
We have one rowing club in my town. It's on the northwestern coast of Norway. It's just yeah, it's a nice club with it has some tradition. It was founded back in 1918, and we have and we have a few rowers that's been to the Olympics. So it's like there's a few good rowers in the club, and I was just drawn to it because I've been growing up with everything having to do with water. So I thought that rowing would be a nice activity to add to it. I was diving and swimming and everything. Is like, and I just saw the rowing club, and I just heard that there was a nice like social environment there, and it would be a nice thing to get involved with. So, and it was. So I was quickly picked up by the older rowers, and they were teaching me really quickly, and it didn't take long before I like started improving and getting faster than them, and then I needed to get to meet people from other cities too. So since we are compared to England or Great Britain, we are like, it's what they say that you are like 500,000 rowers or something. We always say like a stupid number, and in Norway we are probably 400. So
gosh, really,
we are not that many.
So you must know pretty much everyone over there.
Yeah.
It's really close-knit community.
Norwegian that's into rowing, I'll know them.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So is it would that make it a more accessible sport? Is it just for, so in the UK it's got quite a horrible picture associated with rowing, where it's just posh boys who learn at school. That's not how I got into it personally, but it's got that sort of. So I was at uni, and there's just like a they had a thing called Give It a Row, and I just went along to try it out and just fell in love with it. Just loved being out on the water and splashing around, and the people I met down there were just seemed like really friendly, nice people. So it's a bit of a different pathway to quite a few people in the UK. They tend to go to a private school, and it's their school sport, and it's got quite a posh look about it. So is it more accessible in Norway? Can anyone just rock up to a club and hop in a boat?
Yeah, I'd say it's a sport for everyone. Of course, there's some. Here is also it's not a posh thing at all, but the clubs are all by the water, and like the nicer areas are often close to the water as well. So I think it's partly linked to that, but it's a really accessible to everyone, and it's not an expensive activity to be in. So yeah, I'd say that it's for everyone, and it's also growing for the girls now. So it's, in my club there's more girls than guys rowing now, and that's a really nice thing. So
yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's good, but it could be, of course, our main problem is to get more people involved, so we have more rowers, because it's not the biggest sport, and we see that in Norway the other sports get basically all the attention. So it's really hard to live from being a rower, and only a rower when you're from a small country like us.
So that was a question I had a bit later on. So how does being a pro rower work in Norway? Do you get funding from? So I think lots of our GB guys get national lottery funding. So like from a sort of, I suppose it's a charity, but a bit of state funding in there as well. Do you have something similar, or do you have to work alongside it?
If I would just be rowing, I would have to pay money for it.
Oh, okay.
So we get some funding from like the national sports associations, but my club needs to pay for me being on the national team, and I also have to pay for every camp I go to. So it's really nothing that you won't earn. You can't live from it, so you have to do something else. And so most of the rowers here, they are either students and get some funding from their parents and stuff, and either they have like a part-time job. So it's many different solutions to it. I found my way through ocean plastic, so it's my way into it's my way of funding the rowing, you can say.
Fantastic. I'll come on to your environmental stuff in a bit. I just wanted to first up ask about your Olympics. So you went to Tokyo in the quad in 2021, so the Tokyo 2020.
Yeah.
What was that like as an experience?
Well, we went over there with a big. We had higher hopes than we really got into to after the competitions, but because we got a medal at the last World Cup, and we were like really like thinking that, oh, this is going to be really good, because we had a feeling of having really good boat speed. And when we got over there, it was and at the pre-camp and everything felt good until we got to the competition, and then suddenly there was something that was off. We didn't manage to work together. I think it was kind of the tricky side wind that was off, and we weren't prepared well enough for that. And it was just some minor stuff that I think that it just it has to be so good to be like really good in a quad, and if something's not working, the speed is totally off. So it was quite a frustrating feeling to be racing there. Of course, the experience of being at the Olympics is really cool though. It's a fantastic competition, and it's even if it was during COVID with all the restrictions that were in place, we would just I was trying to enjoy the experience, even if we didn't row as quickly as we'd hoped to do. But it was really a nice experience.
It's a really amazing thing to have gone off and raced at the Olympic Games. It's always a shame that it doesn't work, but I imagine that's spurring you forward for 2024 and onwards as well.
Yeah, sure. I'm aiming for Paris, and I'll do like I'll decide after that if I want to go to LA or if I'm happy with the rowing as it is. Yeah. So I'll just take it as it is, and I will say that I want to be rowing as long as I think it's fun. So if it's not fun anymore, then I'll go on to do something else.
Oh, that's a great attitude to have.
I think so.
It's always you need that. I think quite a lot of people tend to forget that is you need that enjoyment there to get you through the miserable cold winters and all the horrible hard sessions.
Yeah, and always putting the pluses and minuses together and find out what I want to do. And the life as a rower it's really a great thing. Being able to travel all over the place and meeting cool people and having good experiences racing and having intense racing. It's just the intensity of the sport is something that I really enjoy.
So you most recently you raced the World Cup in a single. Can you see that going forward, potentially becoming a single sculler for the Olympics?
Yeah, I've been racing a lot in the single lately, and I really enjoy it. So it's a nice challenge. Of course, the level in the for the top guys, it's really high. So I will have to improve a bit, but I really like the feeling of racing in the single. I was at the Holland Baker and also Lucerne, and also at the national championships. I was lucky enough to beat Kjetil Borch at a couple of weeks before the World Championships. So it was like it was just gave me like, oh, I can actually do this. So so we're having some trials in March, and I'll try to try in the single, and if it doesn't work out, I'll go in a crew boat. So it's just it would be really nice, but I don't really expect it. So we'll see. I'll do my best.
Well, best of luck for it.
Thank you very much.
So just so I have to ask about this because we had a cold snap a few weeks ago, and it got down to -6, and we were out rowing in it, and my slides were freezing up, and I was having a horrible time a few early mornings. But I went on Instagram afterwards and saw that you'd done 26 kilometers or some ridiculous distance in a single, and I think it was -13 or something. So how do you do it?
It gets cold, but the thing with the fingers, I don't freeze that easily on the fingers, so it's okay. I get cold right away, but when I keep the activity level up and don't take breaks, that works. But as quickly as I like drop in heart rate and starting to get cold, then it's an issue.
Okay.
Here it's snowing pretty hard.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So I'm back in Oslo now, but I spent all the December on the western coast. So because here the lakes, they freezes over and stays frozen from the start of December until probably March. So when I was on the western coast, there I row on the fjord. So it's salt water and it never freezes. So it can be really, really cold. And so I was able to row a lot. But the national team is situated in Oslo, so I need to be here also. So it's now I'm back on the erg and staying indoors mostly. But and we'll go to a skiing camp. That's like a tradition. We go cross country skiing. So in a couple of weeks.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So just for the variation of the training.
I've heard of skiing as cross training before, but I've never heard of I didn't realize a national teams actually did it as a camp.
Yeah, we've done it every year, and I know other countries do the same. We met the Polish team and the Czech team, and yeah, it's a thing. But
that's brilliant.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's a good way of training, so you can either go to high altitude or just do skiing, because we can do 4 hours, go out and be in the slope for 4 hours, and it will feel pretty easy, even if the heart rate will be high for a long period of time. You're using the whole body for the activity. So, and it's really nice for you won't get any back pain or something like that. It's just like you're really mild for the body.
That's brilliant. I'll have to give it a go one day. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah. You should do that. Come over to Norway and go ski.
So let's move on to your diving stuff. That's the really cool stuff, and makes you really stand out in the rowing community. So can you just give everyone watching a bit of background of what you do? So you dive and you clean up rivers.
Yeah, you can say that. I'm freediving. That means that I'm getting in a wetsuit, because the water here is pretty cold. A thick wetsuit, and I hold my breath and swim down underwater and see what I can find. So I got into it. I've been diving, freediving my whole life, but and I was in the start I was drawn to go spearfishing, which is that you go freediving and you bring a spear gun, which is like a there is like it looks like a gun, or with rubber bands. Then you to load it and to shoot fish with it. It's
okay.
A lot of fun, and it's a nice way to get to like go into nature and get your dinner, and also collecting scallops and going into even collecting kelp and making really nice food from straight from the ocean. I love that activity. But through that activity, I get in the water and stay there for a couple of hours, and every time I meet something that's not belonging there, I get kind of like it's a bad feeling when you like swimming past a piece of plastic, or seeing a washing machine on the bottom, or something that's not belonging there at all. So that was when I started to make like an idea for myself, that for every time I went out hunting, I wanted to bring back more trash than fish. So if I got a big fish, I'll go and pick a big piece of trash and bring it back to shore. And after some time, I was just like this. It was more and more. It just got more and more trash and less fish. So it was just, after a while, I went out just to pick trash, and I thought that made like it felt pretty good to do that, and I just needed an excuse to get in the water anyway. So it's just a lot of I just spent a lot of time in the water. So during 2020, we were preparing for the Olympics, and then we were sent back home, as you know, because of the pandemic. So then I was just put back home to hometown on the western coast, where it's beautiful in the water, and I started out going out there every day, and just had to have something to do. I was training a little bit, but it was not too much because we didn't know what was going to happen. And I thought that since I'm picking trash anyway, I could probably earn some money from it. So I put up a crowdfunding campaign and said that for every kilo of trash, or for every 10 Norwegian kroner, it's like one, it's like €1 or something.
Oh, okay.
I'll pick 1 kilo of trash, and I'll show it what I found to the people that donated money. And I thought that it would just be like a small hobby thing. But suddenly I had to pick 7 tons, and
Wow.
I was out picking trash, and it was just growing and growing as an activity, and I really loved it. And other people got involved, and it was just a great thing. So since then I've been doing it a lot. And after 2021, we got our new coach. It's Mark Emke. It's the coach, the former Dutch coach.
Okay.
And he has put up the training program, and it's like a lot of training from Monday to Saturday, and the Sundays are off. So I just thought that, okay, that Sunday is going to be a cleanup day, and then I'll invite all the people I know from freediving or rowing or wherever to go clean up different places around Oslo. So that's what we've been doing. So last year we picked over 10 tons of trash from Oslo. And the goal this year is to increase it even more. And so I get it just I just find it to be a great thing, and I want to do it more.
That's such a good thing to be doing. So I row in London in the Thames, and I think it's confirmed as the dirtiest waterway in the river. And when the tide goes out, you see bikes and all sorts of things lining it. And it is a really horrible thing to see. Yeah. So yeah, it's so nice to know that there's people out there who can go out and actually care about it as well and want to make a difference.
So that's kind of my hope also from the sporting perspective. I would like to see that different rowing clubs take like more like feel a bigger kind of responsibility about how it looks around their club. So hosting cleanups together with rowing clubs, both on land and underwater, that's a really nice thing. So I'll try to do more of that during this year. Last year we were cleaning up around 5 different rowing clubs around Oslo, and it was just it's really easy to get people involved as long as somebody just needs to say, hey, let's do it, spend 1 hour or 2 hours one Sunday a year, and then we'll just pick wherever we find, and it's really a lot. So it's a good thing to get the sports involved as well.
So just to ask your advice on that, do you, if I wanted to, I feel quite inspired after hearing your story there. So if I wanted to try and get people from my club down to the Thames when the tide's out, what's the best way to go about it? I don't think any of us are able to dive down and pick out the trash, but is there something we can do along the banks? Do you have any advice for that?
Yeah, if it's possible to go probably during the summer when the water is warmer, that's probably a good idea. If you can just walk along the river and pick trash, where I'm sure there's a lot to find, and also have a good solution for getting rid of the trash. So that's like the one thing that needs to be in place, because it's easy to pick it up, but it's not always that easy to get rid of it. So just look into how the UK system is for trash handling, and then you can just find containers and put it there and see what you can find, and it's just it's really not that hard, especially here. I can just get rid of it for free, because marine waste is something that the government wants to fight, and so it's really easy to just report where I'm picking, when I'm picking, and then they'll come and pick it up. And I have a deal, like a type of sponsorship deal with trash handling company. So wherever I go, I just bring some big bags and put it along the road, and they'll come pick it up a day or two later. So it's really, really easy.
That's fantastic. This is something I'm definitely going to put into motion.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm sure a load of other people after watching this will hopefully pick up the mantle too and go and do it at their clubs. Be really nice to start trying to clean up our waterways.
Yeah, sure. And it's like that all over the world. So I think all the rowing clubs in the world actually have some relation to the sea or to the local environment. So it should be something that can be done. And it's really an issue that it's easy to engage people in, to get people to join in. It's not last summer we had a joint cleanup with a sailing club and a rowing club, and I just involved some people from the national team, and we were over 50 people cleaning a small area, and that really helps. So it's just about getting more people involved in it, and then it would be nice. So and this summer I've planned a big big cleanup in my hometown of Ålesund, where I was out diving and seeing a lot of car tires on the bottom, and
that's horrible.
It's something that's been dumping. People have been dumping car tires in the sea for a long time because they don't know how to get rid of it, and thought that it's just out of sight and out of mind, that kind of mentality. So when I was swimming over it, I'm sure there's about 2 tons of car tires just laying around on the seafloor. It's right in the area where cod, the fish species come in to breed, for example. So it's like a really rich fishing area, and it looks like trash on the bottom. So, and one car tire, it can there can be like 20 different types of harmful toxins for the environment in a car tire. So if we can pull up like tons of it, that's probably a good thing.
That's really horrible stuff.
Yeah, so I'm trying to involve like different some people that do cleanups professionally, and also the rowing club, and some other groups of people from the local area, and we'll try to do a big cleanup and pick them all. That would be really cool.
So, well, what's the worst thing you've ever found? What's the most horrible piece of trash that you found at the bottom of a river?
I sometimes think of the cleanups as a treasure hunt, because there's so much different stuff like laying around, which it's really hard to come up with like one horrible thing, but it's a lot of fun stuff also. So that's probably a better way to think about it.
Okay.
Last summer I was self-sufficient with alcohol. I found 1.5 liter of vodka and 7 beers. I found
wow.
Yeah, there's an area where there's floating saunas. So people go there and go on the fjord, and there's like a pontoon with a sauna on it. So we can go in the sauna and also go into the
okay.
Go swimming in the fjord and back and forth. And people typically put their alcohol in the water in a bag, just so it can stay cold while they're in the sauna. And sometimes it falls off. Then the sea bottom or the sea bottom will be full of alcohol. And I found a sheep's head that looks kind of weird. Yeah, looks like it's not belonging there, and a box full of jaws.
Jaws?
Yeah, so we're thinking it's dog jaws. It looks like it.
Oh, gosh, that's strange.
You just ask, how does it end up there?
That's horrible.
Yeah, it's often we find stuff that it's not people want to get rid somehow, and
yes,
and there's so many different stories. And car plates, that's always a fun thing to find.
car plates,
Yes.
as in the number plates.
Yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
then you know there's some kind of insurance fraud going on.
Yeah.
So searching the number of the car and sometimes also delivering it to the police. Yeah. So don't throw your number plates underwater. Then I'll find them and I'll report it.
So do you have anywhere that people watching this video can go to? Do you still have the crowdfunding or the sponsorship running?
I don't have it up now, but I will just if people want to get in touch, I will say that Instagram is probably the best place to find me in general. So if there's someone that wants advice for cleanups or anything, I would be happy to help out. Oh,
I'm sure I'm going to be in touch. I'll make sure I'm tagging you in everything I get going. You've really got me inspired on this one. It seems like such a good cause to go off and quite an easy thing to do as well, and make hopefully a big difference.
If you're ever in Oslo, make sure to say hi, and I'll put you in the water in a suit. So,
oh, amazing! Yeah. I'll let you know. I'm not sure. I think I'll have to be in the summer for me though.
Yeah. But summer is fine.
Oh, well, thank you so much for your time. It's been a real pleasure to speak with you.
It's really nice speaking to you as well.
All the best for your season ahead. I've got my fingers crossed for you in that single.
Yeah, thank you very much. And you'll be racing at Hanley, right?
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Oh, thank you.